Welcome to Aram Academy. Myself Rajesh, Faculty of Current Affairs and Sociology. In today's video session, we are going to discuss Panchsheel. Nehru once clearly told that if all the nations following Panchsheel principles, there won't be any conflict between any nations of the world. But who is responsible for this Panchsheel? It is India and China, but still the Panchsheel is not fruitfully followed by both the nation, subsequently leading to many conflict in border areas. Hence, it is important for us to discuss what is Panchsheel and subsequent measures. What is Panchsheel? Before going to the concept of Panchsheel, we should understand what is Panch and Sheel. In Sanskrit, Panch is 5 and Sheel is principles or virtues. So 5 principles that governs the relationship between India and China. You can see the 5 principles of peaceful coexistence known as Panchsheel Treaty was signed in 1954 between India and China. Please note down the actual name of the Panchsheel is not actually Panchsheel. It is actually in a different name, that Agreement on Trade and Intercourse between the Tibet region of China and India. Why such a name? Why there is no name called China in it and it is actually between India and Tibet? See, Tibet announced its freedom from China in 1900s, but subsequently after the revolution by Mao in 1949, the China took back Tibet. Hence, China clearly warned that India should not have any sovereign over Tibetan region and should not claim any sovereign. Hence, this treaty was clearly between Tibet region of China and India. So it clearly says that that's two different nations. India is one nation and Tibet region of China is one nation. That comes under China. Hence, this treaty is not exactly between India and China, but between India and Tibet region of China. That is applicable to whole China. So Panch means 5 and as I said, Sheel means virtues, so 5 principles. The Panchsheel agreement serves as one of the most important relation between India and China to further the economic and security cooperation. So once it was signed, it seems to be a very good, a very superb agreement between India and China, but it was not fruitfully followed. That is a problem. What are those principles? You should remember, as an aspirant, you should remember these principles and you can use these principles with respect to any international organizations and regional organization and also bilateral organizations. First one is mutual respect to each other, territorial integrity and sovereign. Very important. This particular line clearly says that India should not claim Tibet as the part of India. Hence this line was incorporated. That is, both the nations should not interfere in each other's internal affairs. That is here, and also give respect to each other territory and sovereign. So not interfering other countries' internal affairs and mutually exclusive in the nation, and sovereign and territorial integrity are all base of the particular treaty. Mutual non-aggression. Non-aggression is like nobody should use or threaten to use force. But China and Pakistan is using forces and threaten to use forces. But anyhow, initially when this particular treaty was signed, it was so clear that they should not use aggression. Equality and mutual benefit. Both the nations should treat equally, each other treat equally, and mutual benefit. This mutual benefit is nothing more than almost win-win situation. That's an important word with respect to diplomacy. Peaceful coexistence. Both the nation can exist peacefully without any war or conflict or anything else. So these 5 principles are called Panchsheel, and this Panchsheel principle is a base for India and China relation. And who signed it? That's an important one. Got it? Fine. Nehru, our Prime Minister of India, and Enlai, he is the premier of China. He is not Mao. Mao is like chairman and president, and he is a premier. So that's a different. So these two guys responsible for signing such a treaty called Panchsheel. So Nehru went on to say, if these principles were recognized in mutual relation of all countries, because this particular treaty or this particular construct is superb, well constructed, better to stop all the conflicts and war. So he clearly says if these five principles is going to be the part of any treaty or any mutual relationship between any nation, then indeed there would be hardly any conflict or certainly no war. So this treaty will definitely stop all the war and reduce any type of conflict between nations. We should have a doubt here. Is India is following this or China is following this? As far as we concern, both are not following it because of the present issues between India and China. 20 Indian soldiers lost their life and 43 Chinese soldiers lost their life. With these, we can understand that this principle is not fruitfully followed by both the nation. And when, for the first time, this particular principle was broken. Actually, it was Dalai Lama. He is the religious head of Tibet. He wanted to attain freedom from China. But Mao, the chairman of Communist Party of China, doesn't like to give sovereign over the Tibet. So there was a conspiracy theory that Mao wanted to assassinate Dalai Lama. But Dalai Lama, a young boy then, who crossed Tibetan plateau and came to India via Sikkim. And Nehru allowed him, because he is a small boy by then, Nehru allowed him and he gave place in Dharmashala, Himachal Pradesh. But this particular principle went against, this particular act went against mutual non-interference in each other's internal affairs. Dalai Lama, China, Tibet is internal affairs of China, according to Mao. But what Nehru taught us, Mao will understand why I took such a decision. That's a statement by Nehru. But nothing went as Nehru thinks. So Dalai Lama, who came to India by 1959 and by 1962, that's the first war between India and China. It was not actually a war, it was more like an aggression. From our side, it was no any retaliation measures was taken, but it was a very sheer aggression by China, and which broke the heart of Nehru also. Nehru, as a visionary idealist, he clearly thinks Mao will understand what or why I did or allowed it Dalai Lama inside India. But Mao was taking a different view with that of the Nehru. So this made Nehru to revisit the policy of idealism, and now we are practicing pragmatism, moving away from idealism in at least majority of the matters. And the present war is just the present conflict in 4 regions between India and China is just the outcome of not following the policy of Panchsheel fruitfully. Thank you for listening this video. If you have any comments, please leave in comment section. Thank you.